We've been assigned to keep an eye on the Donatu sector, which includes several points of interest. The cursor system, Donatu, for which the system is named, Drozana, the station, but we will be operating from Deep Space K7, currently in orbit around Sherman's planet in the neighbouring sector. We've been made aware of the presence of Devidians in the area. The energy-stealing beings from another phase of reality are manifesting in our realm and have been making a sticky situation even more awkward along the Klingon border. Hostilities have been decreasing recently, and we don't want a third party inciting more incidents. Unfortunately, we're reporting to Franklin Drake of Section 31, so we're going to be operating mostly in the dark of the larger picture. Speaking of, he contacts us and informs us that one of their operatives on Drozana Station activated their subspace beacon. The asset is called ze'mara, and Drake wants us to extract her or aid her escape without blowing her cover as an informant. He suggests that we do this under the pretense of shore leave. Just as well as my last bout of shore leave was...
I will reclaim my life!
Cancelled. So we turn the daring towards the run-down station and move in to help out. Drozana Station is of 23rd century Federation design, but has not seen much maintenance nor upkeep. As it is, one of the docking arms is prominently bent out of place. Internally, the artificial gravity is probably keeping everything unchanged, but from the outside it's hard to ignore such an eyesore, and were it still in Federation hands, it would have been fixed. Unfortunately, it is not in Federation hands.
Welcome to Drozana. You're cleared for docking. We have everything you need for shore leave, and a few things that you didn't even know you wanted. Shopping, drinking, dining, entertainment. You'll find it all here. And don't forget the 77th rule of acquisition. If you break it, I'll charge you for it.
I can't say this would be my ideal choice of vacation spot. So the station was constructed sometime prior to 2265 under the command of Captain Kendra Reaver, and was one of many such facilities that the Federation had in deep space. Larger than the nearby K7, it still followed the Starfleet design of the time. Beaming over, we are informed that Balin is the Ferengi in charge of this station now, and he seems like a good place to start. Usually, Ferengi, even those in power, maintain a position close to their staff, not to be approachable, but to keep an eye on them. We'll probably find him near the main bar. It may have a Federation silhouette, but the station's interior is far from Starfleet standards. From its location near the Klingon border, it was often the site of many Klingon Federation conflicts, and saw quite a battering even into the 2340s. Because of this, the station was never truly in a good enough state to be upgraded in earnest, and eventually it came under Klingon control. We enter into a cavernous hall, now a recreational deck judging by the transparent ceiling and viewports, and this would have probably always been its function. However, these windows are layered in grime and dust from years of minimal upkeep. Maybe some of it's even scarring from decades old energy fire.
Get your Comet cocktails! 4.7% discount for the next 3 minutes!
There are a number of people passing through Drozana, as this hall has connections to the numerous galactic trade hubs and mail services, so even at its quietest, there's usually a few people biding their time in their off-duty hours. I wonder how many people actually choose here to come on vacation, however. We familiarise ourselves with the bar and catch the attention of the barkeep, who is indeed Balin.
Welcome to Drozana Station, the home of the finest libations and pleasures this side of Rex. Care to hear about today's specials?
Well, actually, I was wondering
Have you tried the Comet cocktail? It's out of this world.
Sure, go ahead.
You've arrived at the right time. It's almost the day of the comet. Driffin's Comet is going to pass close enough to the station to frost the viewports. And this is the only place in the sector where you can celebrate in style. We've got Comet cocktails in keepsake glasses, Comet trail mix, Comet ice cream cores in 47 flavors. So relax, enjoy the games, have a drink, and pick up some souvenirs for your crew. You'll probably want to send a few trinkets back home to let the folks know that you were at Drozana Station when the comet arrived. Good deals and good times. You'll find it all on Drozana Station.
But it's a comet. Not to be a party pooper, but we arrived on a starship. I could literally fly over and poke at it with a stick if I wanted. You know what? Never mind. Tell me about Drozana Station.
We've got everything a brave Starfleet officer like yourself could want. There's access to shopping, subspace message stations, a few quality vendors, drinks, dancing, and Dabo. That Lita hologram is really something. Makes me want to get a handful of her pixels, if you know what I mean.
Don't make me picture that. Don't make me picture that. Don't make... Oh...
My partners and I took this place over a few months ago. It was an abandoned piece of space junk then, but with some hard work and careful financial planning, we will make it a pleasure destination to rival Ryza or Casperia Prime.
Ah, so who built this station then?
Humans, I think. But history has never been my thing. The present is where the Latinum is. I know the station was built in the mid-23rd century and served as a trading post and supply station for colony ships and military vessels. Then the House of Duras owned it for a while, but they gave it up in the 2370s. It was empty until my partners and I arrived. Do you know we had to spend 3 weeks scrubbing bloodwine stains off the decks? Between that, the globfly infestation, and voles in the computer circuitry, it's a wonder that we ever opened our doors for business.
And now you're opening in time for this comet passing. Tell me about that.
A crew from a Vulcan science vessel visited here a week ago, and they told me that Driffin's Comet has a wide elliptical orbit. The last time it was in this area was in 2262, and it won't be back again until 2556, and by then, I'm sure that this crazy war will be over and Drozana Station will be the premier space entertainment venue in the entire galaxy. It looks like your standard ball of ice and rock to me, but the science geeks are all excited about it. They say it's giving off triolic energy and that it has a high variance of chronoton particles, whatever that means.
Ah.
Me, I see opportunity. Starting now, Days of the Comet! Join in on all the fun for just a few credits. There's no better place for a good deal and a good time than Drozana Station.
It's interesting that that comet seems to have been contaminated by triolic and chronoton energies. The Cardassian ship we boarded earlier wanted to investigate that too, for the unusual readings. Let's bookmark that for a later investigation. In the meantime, let's stay on task. Balin, I'm looking for someone.
Aren't we all? Me? I want a leggy Vulcan with a liberal attitude toward interspecies relations. So, are you looking for someone in particular, or just some company?
Well, I have a leggy Vulcan, but no. I'm looking for Ze'mara.
Oh yeah, I know ze'mara. Maybe she's been here recently, and maybe she hasn't. My memory is kind of hazy.
We now have several options. We can plead with him, telling him it's very important that we get to talk to her. She may be in danger.
Yeah, you need to find ze'mara, and people on Rurapente need warm socks. Everybody has needs, my friend. Let me spell it out for you. Information like that isn't free.
We could unprofessionally threaten him with violence.
Hey, back off! This is my establishment and I make the rules. And from now on, the rule here is that you should treat me with some respect.
But in reality, the only way to get what we want and not cause a scene or tip our hand is to play his games. Maybe we can work something out.
Yeah, I'm sure we can. In fact, I feel my memory clearing up already. I tell you what, I know you Starfleet types aren't big on Latinum, but what you do have are skills and a willingness to get your hands dirty. That's what I need right now. Our replicators are on the fritz. Maybe it's the whole power system because the lights are going wonky too. But a little blue mood lighting isn't as big a problem for me as unfilled drink orders.
Oh, the lighting's on the fritz and it's going blue, you say? What do you want me to do?
Go to the cargo bay and get my replicators working. By the time you're done, I'm sure I will have remembered where I last saw ze'mara.
Dava Watalita is a licensed product of Quark Enterprises.
Did I swear I just saw something. Well, Balan's comments did highlight something. I'm here in full uniform, trying to keep a low profile, so maybe I should look like I'm trying to relax. Yeah, this'll do. It should attract less attention than my Starfleet fatigues. I'm certain that there are Devidians on this station too. However, the fact that people here haven't noticed and no one's panicking suggests it's not as advanced a threat as the mess we found on the Axum. We head on down to the bay that needs seeing to, and we have to solve a rather long riddle of electronics to make things work. Ugh, they should have sent an engineer. Basically, the problem is quite simply power. The replicators have failed because they're not getting enough. Diagnostics report a 30% power drain on Deck 1 caused by an unknown factor. However, the problem is that the station is so old that there's little spare available at this time to go around, so to counter this, we can manipulate the EPS grid by diverting the power sources through several different systems en route to the replicators. We have access to the replicators, the gravity plating, the defense systems, the environmental systems, and the holosuites. The puzzle problem is that only certain systems can be routed in order without causing a failure. For example, the last system we want to restore the replicators needs to be first on the list of 6 links. So replicators first, but also last as it's where we are ultimately trying to reroute power to, so 6th. But the defense grid can only be connected at junction 4, so slot 4 for the defense systems. Gravity can only reach the environmental controls or the defense grid, but not the replicators. Okay, so we can't connect gravity directly to the replicators. The replicators, however, must connect to the environmental controls, but holosuites are incompatible with the environmental systems. So replicator, environmental, gravity, defense, environmental again, and back to replicators. But why don't we use the holosuites? Of course, dumb Starfleet design. The holosuites are their own grid, always removed from the main EPS systems, and this was a Starfleet station, so we can just ignore the holodecks. You know what, I'm just going to say this, I could have just looked this up online, but I actually solved it myself, and I'm really proud. I'm dumb. We return to Belan and inform him that we've made our repairs, that I hope Scavrin never sees.
They are, and I am exceedingly pleased by your generous offer to repair them for no compensation. I can't let you go away empty-handed, though. How about I give you a 15% discount on drinks and souvenirs for an amount of time to be determined by management?
Or you tell me about ze'mara and I don't undo my repair job.
Fine. A deal's a deal, right? Never let it be said that I'll cheat a valued customer like yourself. Personally, I don't know why you're so interested in her. She's a looker, but just try talking to her. She's more paranoid than an Obsidian Order agent in a room full of Tal Shiar. ze'mara usually hangs out near the Dabo tables. Keep an eye out for a looker wearing purple. You can't miss her.
A looker wearing purple. No. Soon we find someone who matches that description, standing some way from the centre of the room, surveying everyone. Hey ze'mara, want a drink?
Be careful. They're watching.
Of course they are. We're the most interesting people in the room.
I'm not in the mood for a chat right now, thanks.
Look, you said they are watching. Who's they?
Shh. Keep your voice down. I'm being watched. I've seen too many familiar faces in the crowd, and there are shadows. Watchers in the dark. I see them out of the corner of my eye when they think I'm not looking, but I'm always looking. When the lights change, there they are.
Ah, you're seeing the spectres too then.
Watch yourself. They're everywhere.
I know, I'm here to help.
You weren't sent to help me. You were sent to watch me. Drake needs me to keep feeding information to Starfleet intelligence. The Klingons come here and they drink and they talk. It's amazing the bits of information you can pick up around a Dabo table. Everything, even the smallest detail, is important. Captain Gerard was in here last week. He ordered blood wine, an entire bottle of the 2309 vintage, to be exact. That business with the House of Torg must have upset him more than we knew. When Gerard's happy, he drinks Warnog.
You're observant.
Watch yourself. They're everywhere.
Just out of interest, what happened with the House of Torg?
Torg was on the High Council until he made a play to destroy the House of Martok. He was partially successful. Mavan, son of Drex, is dead. The house has no heir unless Drex takes a new mate and fathers a new son. But Martok's widow is wise. Her son, Drex, was off fighting in the war, so Lady Sorella called in KDF officers to defend her house. They exposed Torg's treachery, and Jempok was forced to discommendate him. As to why that would make Gerard unhappy? Torg raised Gerard after his mother died. Now he is an outcast, and his house has fallen. Gerard cannot speak to him without losing his own honor.
Well, shit, you're good. Look, I meant it. I'm here to help. What do you need?
Find out who's watching me. I'm not safe here. The Klingons are looking for me. They know someone has been feeding intelligence to Starfleet. The ghosts are always watching. Their eyes are hungry. Yesterday, they surrounded a drunken Klingon. Now he's dead. They will find me when the blue light shines, and then I'll disappear.
I know what they are.
How could you know that? You may think you know. You may even have readings in your tricorder that you think are right. But you don't know. How could you know? I'm here every day. They watch me, and I watch them.
Look, if you're looking for a way out, I've got a ship, and I can take you somewhere.
No, they're everywhere. They're watching. You've been here too long. Someone will notice that we're together. Go do something else. Play Dabo. I'll contact you when I'm ready. When it's safe.
Alright, I'll give you a minute, but don't run off. Sure thing, I can win you as much as I like at Dabo. Watch this. Step 1, win at Dabo. Step 2, buy everyone drinks. Step 3, leave with the green alien babe. Am I right or am I right? Oh god, it's all gone blue again. Yeah, the Devidians are really here. And I'm not too great at Dabo. This is going to go swimmingly.
Oh, what's the harm in a little friendly wager?
I'm poor, leave me alone. Is that it? Did I win?
Davo!
What? Did I win? Is that a thing? Yes? Yay?
Close enough. I couldn't wait for you to get that lucky. We would have been here all night.
I can't believe I'm not that bad. Am I?
Ze'mara wants me to give you a message.
Oh.
She wants you to know, if you're interested in finding out what's really going on here at Drozana Station, you need to check out the lower levels. I have an access code for you that will get you past the security doors. If you want to talk with her again, I suggest you collect your winnings and catch her before she leaves.
You know what? This just ain't my night at the tables. I think I'll take my leave. Alright then, Night Eyes. You ready to leave this place? Play
You
along.
don't need to worry about me. I'm going to leave this place to the ghosts. They seem to belong here more than we do. I've booked passage on a ship. You don't need to know which one. Just tell Drake. He'll keep getting his intel, one way or another. Good luck. You're going to need it.
Alright then. We contact our ship and inform them we'll be returning. Temet suggests we set a course for K7 to consolidate our findings, and ze'mara seems to be self-sufficient enough to have organised an escape by herself. And if she's able to manipulate a Dubbo hologram and she's fairly observant, I think she'll do fine. We board the Daring and set a course out of Drozana to Deep Space K7. The senior staff seem to agree that Driffin's comet's unusual readings are probably more than just coincidence, but we'll need to work this through properly first to be certain. K7. Built around the same time as Drozana in the 23rd century, this station was intended for civilian use, and for much of its life it served that purpose as a trade hub, much as Deep Space Nine does now. By 2340 the station was in need of much repair and updating, which it did receive eventually by 2391. Here, Starfleet assumed control of it and used it as the site of Federation peace talks between the Gorn and the Klingons back during when they were at war. And in 2405, the station was moved closer to its current location in orbit of Sherman's planet. It's a startling difference. Both Drozana and K7 have similar origins, but one was a little too close to the fire and got burned, as it were. The other was actually cared for, and although it's now a Starfleet installation, and as such serves as the staging ground for anti-Klingon operations. Despite the slow de-escalation of the war, K7 remains on guard. We walk through the dining halls to take a turbolift to one of its many science labs. Inside we can find a Saurian techie, Lieutenant Calipo. Tell me about yourself, Lieutenant.
I grew up on trading ships, making supply runs in the Bolian sector. It was exciting, but it was crazy too. I never knew where I was going to be, or if my parents were going to have enough latinum to keep the ship flying. Then there was that time with the Orion pirates, and let's just say it wasn't the best environment for a child. All I've ever wanted was stability. I used to envy the kids on the colony worlds we served. For a while, I even thought about becoming a farmer. I wanted to wake up at the same time every day, go to the same job every day, even eat the same food most days. I like working on a starbase. It has a little bit of unpredictability, but every night my quarters are there waiting for me, and they're always in the same place. Good luck, and stay safe.
Congratulations, you're boring. Do you know Franklin Drake?
I have had dealings with him in the past. I think he's some sort of military strategist. He visits here from time to time, although Commander Wildman is never too thrilled to see him. He's always treated me well, though, so I don't have any reason to dislike him.
What does he ask you about when he's here?
Mostly he wants updates on our research projects. Last week he was asking me all sorts of questions about the synchronic distortion prototype rifle. We work with prototypes of new equipment here. I'll bang on something for months to find out all of its advantages and problems before it's sent into the field to be used by Starfleet. Even then, it takes years or more of testing and iteration before something becomes standard fleet issue. And most equipment never makes it that far. There are hundreds of inventions that just don't work, or they don't work the way we want them to. Those failures are then broken down and their components are recycled. We have to keep everything secure. If the Romulans or the Klingons got their hands on what we are working on here, they could learn a lot about our technology.
What's a synchronic distortion prototype rifle?
That was a complete disaster. The basic design came out of Memory Alpha, and it was intended to detect and damage cloaked opponents. Someone there got an idea that the Romulans were developing personal cloaking devices, even though the power needs of something like that would be incredible. I recommended against sending it to field testing, but it went anyway. The crew on the USS DeWitt had some luck in modifying one for use as a hand weapon, but their prototype was destroyed when the ship was lost in the neutral zone. I hadn't thought about it again until Drake asked about it.
I wonder if that would work on the Devidians that are in the Klingon neutral zone.
So that explains why Drake was interested in the prototype. It was a complete failure at detecting polarization cloaks, but if I added a phase modulator and reversed the polarity, These modifications should be no problem. And when I'm done, this beam will pack quite a punch against phase-shifted Devidians. I'll forward the weapon on to Drake as soon as I'm done. Be careful. The Devidians won't stop. I'm afraid we'll have to be ready to fight.
Tarsi calls in to inform me that studies on the Devidians are going well and that this prototype may help in the coming mission. ze'mara mentions through the Dubbo hologram that we could find out more in the lower levels of Drozana, but they sound dangerous, so we best go prepared. ze'mara's on her own now, and we're almost ready, but before I call in to Drake with an update, let's swing by K7's office to see if the station's commander has time for a chat. Commander Naomi Wildman. Born on the USS Voyager in 2372, she joined Starfleet in 2392 at the age of 20. This varies from the book's timeline. In 2398 she served as Helm Officer on the USS Hathaway and was eventually promoted to its XO position as a Lieutenant Commander. In 2408 she was selected as the Commander of Station K7, technically her first captaincy. Well, she's busy, but I thought I'd just say hi. We return to the USS Daring. We call in to Drake to report our progress and ze'mara's fate.
Good work. ze'mara may think she has slipped my noose, but I always have ways of keeping tabs on her. I take special care to know all about people in whom I have an interest. But you already know that, don't you? The ghosts that ze'mara mentioned concern me, however. You already encountered Devidians once. It's likely they're on Drozana Station as well. And I won't let them use Federation citizens as food. Lieutenant Kalapo has completed work on the synchronic distortion prototype rifle. It should help you when you're ready to enter the lower levels of Drozana. Drake out.
That was short and to the point. It seems that ze'mara might be trying to get out of this whole informant business. Understandable, as if you're a Klingon allied player, she reveals that she's an informant for them too, so she's deep into this trade. Still, I can't say I relish her position with Drake referring to her connection as a noose. As for the anti-Devidian weapon, well, let's hope it's as useful as it sounds, and that we won't need it. We still have yet to work out the connection between Drozana and this comet, but hopefully things will become clearer as we delve into the depths of the station for our next part of the story series. Until then, I've been Rick, and thank you for watching this part. I hope to see you back for next time as we get all spooky. Thanks again, I've been Rick, and goodbye.